In early news, bunkers are the new big thing among the super rich. Orders for these elite bunker setups have surged among those that can afford these million-dollar systems. Bunkers come with various levels of amenities, but include luxury adornments, bowling alleys, shooting ranges, as well as the basics, such as fully stocked food programs that can last years, filtrated air systems, and even solar power, and ground heating and cooling. When asked how long one could effectively survive in a bunker, the answer was simply, in a self-sustained system, indefinitely. It's incredible to think of the progress we've made in our society to be able to offer these amazing systems, but are they excessive? Will there ever be a need for one of these bunkers? Some say it's possible, but most intellectuals say that they're simply indulgences and we will never find a need for them. Unfortunately, it will only be these super rich who will really have an answer for that. In other news, shock jock Timmy Cans has been banned from transmitting or posting any information on any electronic media, says the FCC. In a viral rant, Cans blamed much of the illness plaguing the eastern seaboard on government involvement, stating it was induced into the water supply by government operatives, called out military officials as liars, and used a great deal of banned words and profanity, resulting in immediate expulsion and possibly hundreds of thousands in fines. Social media sources joined in on the ban, stating that misinformation like this serves no purpose other than to cause hysteria and endanger lives, resulting in his digital removal as well. It's important to point out that this is not the first time Cans has had a run-in with the FCC or social media titans in general. He's faced multiple suspensions and fines from almost every major source and is currently in a legal battle from the victims of a recent terrorist school attack, saying it was really a cover-up for the PACE virus, an attack he says raises the dead back to life. Most dismiss Cans as a hyperbolic shock jock that loves stirring up controversy, but this last media wave was, for many, the last straw. Cans made a statement on his website just prior to it being taken down that this is only reinforcing the cover-up in the media and that he will soon be vindicated. Honestly, this should come as no shock to people, though. I think it's important to remember that some of the things we are dealing with are very serious and require level heads to address. Media has had a split in the last few months regarding how certain stories should be relayed to the public. On the one hand, objective and honest reporting is paramount, but on the other, respecting those who are suffering right now is also just as important. Making sure that the information we have is true and accurate, and that it takes working with science and professionals in our fields that have devoted their lives to helping people to find the best course of action. Many of us have become armchair professionals, and I'm sorry to say, but Uncle Barry just isn't qualified to determine the health of those around him. And some of the diseases we currently face are multifaceted. It's why we advise people not to take matters into their own hands and to leave this to the professionals. The reality is death is a serious affair, and for that reason, funeral directors have reported that cremations in burial planning are on the rise. Although a morbid topic for many, for some it's all too important to make sure that afterlife affairs are in order to ease the process for loved ones, which many of us can empathize with. You may be shocked to hear that not only is cremation an advised option by funeral directors, but can also reduce costs, such as expensive caskets that are marked up sometimes up to 400% over their original wholesale price. What few know is in some cases can even tap into government funding to pay for these lavish funerals. The program is part of the Save the Environment program, which looks to help the environment by reducing the amount of land devoted to graveyards, can take care of much of the expense if cremation is used as an option. even covering upwards of 50% of the cost. Many had questioned the look and feel of an urn versus a casket, but ornate displays can be created and with additional funding can become quite elaborate affairs. For this reason, many are choosing to defer to this route for their final planning, and knowing exactly what you will look like after you pass can be an important part of the grieving process. The first case of the zombie drug xylazine in Texas has been discovered yesterday. A woman reportedly suffering from an overdose was treated as a fentanyl overdose, but the response was ineffective. Further treatment by professionals revealed that the drug xylazine was the culprit, and using more appropriate treatments were able to save the woman's life. The drug xylazine, or some variation, has been the predominant claim for much of the cases of PACE reported throughout the eastern seaboard, and Texas officials are afraid that the illness could start to permeate their area. Officials stated they were taking steps to mitigate the migration and would do whatever it takes to prevent a spread to their state. Unfortunately for places like Africa, their version is seeing a great resurgence. The drug Kush has pushed its way past the guards and into the hands of citizens suffering from immense poverty. While the CDC in the state stresses the problems with drugs, in remote places like this, little of that information sticks. In fact, if the information did come, it would probably fall on deaf ears, and there is no reprise from the famine that is embracing these areas. Most simply want a reprieve from the daily pain, and cannabis mixed with things like disinfectant and dried bones of the dead exhumed from graveyards is inhaled and creates a euphoric state that makes the pain go away for these unfortunate souls. Medical officials warn it's only a matter of time before PACE invades these areas, and the concern is that it could ravage homes with little or no protection, no doors to close, and simple clay walls to keep the weather out. Here the concerns are greater than any other place in the world, stated one medical official on the condition of anonymity. Should such an illness come here, it would engulf the city within hours, he clarified. Government officials only responded that the illness was simply a problem of American decadence and that nothing of that nature would ever befall the country. So now to the West.